So the Coyotes recently responded to an RFP to the city of Tempe to redevelop, I believe it's a 48-acre plot, and they submitted a bid for well over $1 billion, basically, mostly privately funded, to develop an arena district, an entertainment district. There's housing proposed and things like that, and it's exciting. Now, Coyotes fans can't be blamed if they say, yeah, right. Because we've seen this before, right? There was a deal with Tempe a few years ago where it was supposed to be with ASU. That fell through. A couple of years before that, I believe there was a potential deal on tribal land out here. That fell through. And you see these things fall through, and then you start hearing the murmurs about Houston, about Quebec City, and really any other city in between. The hockey writers, somebody wrote an article about going to Portland, I think. So everybody's clamoring for an NHL team apparently these days. And it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle since the Coyotes started here in 1996. I'm going to pass the torch. I might finish with some additional comments as well, because some new stuff has even come out today about this. But I'm curious, Haynes, your thoughts on the arena proposal in Tempe. Is this for real? Are they going to get it done?
I want to start by saying, for all the people out there that, the Coyotes, we've been hearing this for years about the Coyotes need to move. Quick, not coming at anybody, but just quick things I want to say about that is, one, I generally believe if the Coyotes were going to move, they would have done it by now. They've been here for 25 years, going on 26 this season, and they have yet to move. There was the 2015 scare originally that the team maybe was about to be sold and moved. But not only that, but we also can all agree here that as long as Gary Bettman is commissioner of the league, Arizona is not going to leave Arizona. Sure. He believes hockey works in that market. The city, the Morello and Gutierrez believe hockey works in Arizona, and they are not going to stop at anything to prove that. And that's exactly what that arena deal does right there. Morello is going out right up in front, going straight to the city of Tempe and saying, hey, if y'all pay the $200 million to, inspect the land, clear off the debris, clean it up, maybe put some roads in, we will add a $1.7 billion of our own money, privately funded, to build an arena there. You have to be thinking Tempe's looking at this just mouths watering, knowing the Coyotes are literally saying we will outright pay for it. Not only does the renderings look amazing from the rendering drawings I've seen, but that just shows Morello's commitment. So many people, Morello's losing money. He's going to sell this team because he's going to lose it. He's just been approved for sports betting. Yep. Why would he pass up on that?
Huge.
Exactly. Not only that, but anybody who's looking to move the team would not propose $1.7 billion of his own money to privately fund an arena. Yep. And essentially the joke we made last night was, instead of the Westgate district, this is essentially the Eastgate district.
And closer to the fan base.
Exactly. This is essentially what you're seeing in Glendale, but way closer to your fans.
Yep.
And the fact that he wants to add all this in just shows his commitment to Arizona. It shows that, the city of Tempe in Arizona has been talking for quite a couple of years now.
Yes.
This has been reported that they've been talking back and forth for a couple of years. The Coyotes were the only team to submit a proposal.
Right.
Everything looks to be clicking. I don't want to get fans' hopes up. I don't want to get my own hopes up. But I think everything's moving in the right direction. I really don't see any way this could backfire on us, especially being the only people to submit a proposal, and then top that by going, we'll even add $1.7 billion of our own money to build the arena, and y'all only have to pay $200 million just to clear the land.
Yep. And a couple of points on top of that before we go to Jordan. Number one, the Coyotes this offseason have been incredibly active in the community. It's been impressive. They've got a number of initiatives for Hispanic Heritage Month coming up, and they're gonna honor Hispanic businesses throughout the year, every month. So they've been very active within the community. I don't think you get that involved and inject yourself in the community if you're planning on leaving. And another thing, Morello owns a construction company and a general contracting company that's going to do the work. He's basically going to pay himself to develop the land once the cleanup is complete. So again, I realize it doesn't totally work like that, but at the same time, it's going to be his company that's doing the work. So
Exactly.
it makes sense. But Jordan, especially having watched drama unfold in Arizona for years, I don't know if you saw the arena proposal in Tempe. Some renderings were just released yesterday or the day before. Your thoughts on this deal, and can Arizona actually finally find a permanent home?
Well, Patrick, I think Arizona can find a permanent home, and I think this type of issue has been going around with other teams in the NHL, such as the Ottawa Senators, who play in Canada, which is just so far away from their downtown area. And this arena proposal, the 46 acre that has all the restaurants, has the apartments, everything in it, would be right there by downtown. So then you have that younger demographic attending your games. And guess what? You're going to get more fans in the stands that way. So I think Arizona is going to work there. And as you guys mentioned before, and this is a huge point, Gary Bettman's not moving the Arizona Coyotes. That's not going to happen under his tenure. I would be so shocked. Like, I think it would have happened by now, seriously. I'm pretty sure they want to go to Houston at some point in the near future. There could have been an opportunity to do that in the past, but he passed it up because he really believes in Arizona. And I really hope it does work out there. Look at the role it had on a player like Austin Matthews growing up.
Absolutely.
Getting to watch a guy like Danny Briere, who he said was one of his favorite players growing up. That if the Coyotes aren't there, who knows if he even makes it to the NHL because he doesn't have that influence, right? So I think it's very pivotal to have a team in Arizona, and I think it can work over the long term. It just has to be done right.
So
I'd like to add real fast, if you don't mind. Not only that, but the Kachucks. I mean, if they grew up watching their dad play in Arizona, I mean, that had to be a big part of them, getting into the sport. I mean, yes, they saw their dad play in a lot of areas, but they were kids at the time he was playing in Arizona. That had a big tie to them too. But I agree with you. And you also were saying there at the end, you were talking about, I can't remember, my memory is terrible. You were saying something. What were you saying at the end towards when you were talking? I had something in my head, and then it popped away out of my mind for like a brief second. And I jumped to the whole thing about the Kachucks.
Well, basically, like how it could work there, having having them, that influence for a guy like Matthews to have it actually work, for if they're not there, basically, Matthews probably isn't an NHL player, and you could probably apply that. I mean, the Kachucks did have their dad, so I mean, I don't know if you could apply the exact same argument, but
Well, I think it's just I can throw one out though. Josh Doan, playing for Arizona State. Right. So, he was drafted by the Coyotes, but if his dad's playing anywhere, he's probably into hockey. Right. But the fact that he's here playing for Arizona State. So that even has an impact on the local college hockey scene that you see here. So, Haynes, did it come back to you or no?
Yes, it did. That was great though, what you said about Arizona State. I think the fact real quick that they have a Division I team is so big. Hockey
and they're
growth.
good. They're good.
And not only that, but the girls, the Kachina's girls team, they're insanely good. I mean, the growth of women's hockey and hockey in general in Arizona is not talked about enough because people are afraid to admit hockey can work in Arizona, and it has been working and growing for the last 5+ years. But what I want to add, because I did remember it, was what you had said about Houston. And does the NHL probably want to go to Houston one day? Yes. Is it going to be through relocation? No, it will probably be through an expansion, most likely, unless it gets to the point where one NHL franchise is very, very, very deep down the gutter and can't support where they have it. Then I might see a move. But not only that, but the city of Houston, especially the governor the president that owns the arena where the Rockets play at, that's where they were saying that they would have the Houston Hockey play at. He has publicly stated and has been reported saying that he does not want to share an arena with a hockey team in Houston. So unless Houston builds a hockey arena, where are you going to house a hockey team? You had a hockey team in the Arrows and they left. If you couldn't support minor league, what makes you think major league, especially with the NHL, is going to work out?
And I think Houston came up big because obviously with the Coyotes moved to the Central, it almost felt that way, right? It felt like they were gravitating towards moving to potentially the Central time zone or something like that. But I think you bring up great points. I do want to throw a few wrenches in the arguments really quick, just just to be a realist. So it actually just came out today. In fact, Arizona Republic reported it, and it makes sense because they actually scooped with the proposal in general, the renderings yesterday. So the proposed arena is about 10,000 feet from two major runways at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport.
I've seen this.
And it presents a problem. Back when the Arizona Cardinals were looking to build the stadium, they ended up nixing a site very close to where this is proposed for that exact reason. The residential area that's proposed in that, I believe the tallest building was 140 feet. It could only be 100 feet max if it's even suitable to have residential people there. Because again, you're talking not even 2 miles away from what is apparently the two busiest runways at a very, very, very busy airport in Phoenix Sky Harbor. So that's just something to keep in mind. Again, the story itself says the FAA is saying, we're not saying no, we just want to know more. And it's very early in the planning, but there are some major obstacles here, not to mention the Coyotes need to find a place to play because the earliest they said anything would open would be 2025. So with this being their last year at Gila River, potentially, I personally think they're just going to come to an agreement again with Glendale when it's all said and done.
Here.
That's what I think. But there's other options. But either way, they got to find a place to play. The last thing that I have to say about this is about the renderings, because my God, do the renderings look amazing. But just be careful with how excited you get on that, because I remember when the Red Wings were building Little Caesars Arena, and one of the renderings just had this beautiful like LED Red Wing logo on top, and yet now it's a pizza logo. So you always got to it is delicious pizza, but you always got to be careful with those renderings. Take them with a grain of salt.